Welcome to the show. I'm Carol. Today we've got a bit of a mixed bag. If you're feeling a bit down, or you know someone who's feeling a bit down, we're going to have a chat to David from on the LowDown about mental health and how to take care of it. And one of the most awesome things we can do for our mental health is to keep active, especially with music. Makes it even better. Be sure after the break to join in with the fitness routine, which has a bit of a twist flavour to it today. And then later on, have you ever thought about online dating? Or maybe you've tried it before. We're going to chat to Brian with some suggestions on the do's and the don'ts for online dating, so you have a better experience. There is no doubt that the majority of Australians have had their mental health challenged over the past 18 months. And the full impact of the pandemic is going to last for many more months to come. Today on the show we meet David Pearce, who after facing his own mental health challenges, launched On the LowDown. He works with community and government organisations to provide products and services to help us all with our mental health. Hi David, welcome to Over 50 So What. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Carol. I appreciate you lowering the bar from over 50s to 42s, low 40s.
Yeah, we have told the viewers that we do have people under 50 on the show if they've got something that's of really important value to them as viewers. So you definitely have something really valuable to share with us. And this is the whole issue of mental health. How did you start in this area of mental health?
It was to do very much with my own struggles. I didn't know what was going on in my mid-20s, but I broke up with a girlfriend, and I became pretty permanently sad for probably like 2 years. And then somehow I kind of got out of that, and I thought, I licked that one. I've got mental health all worked out. And then I got to my early 30s, and I was working in a job that I hated. And I was giving, I'm a really passionate guy like you, Carol. Well, obviously you're not a guy, but, equally passionate and, really wanting to make a difference and turning up to work, working really, really hard in something that just wasn't working. I found myself, I'd be going home at nights and, I was getting visited by these horrendous thoughts again. And I kept on thinking about ways that I could end my own life, and it's really weird trying to describe it to somebody. Like, I'm not trying to think about how can I kill myself, how can I end my own life. I'm just keeping on getting visited by these ideas by well, you could do it like this, or you could do it like that. And it was pretty horrible, and it became really sort of a bit overwhelming. And I realized, if I don't sort something out now, then things aren't going to end very well. And, I just knew that I couldn't exit, so to speak. And I knew that I would be letting a lot of people down and leaving a big hole in their lives. And that, not to shame anybody as well, by the way, who has ended their own lives, or people around, close to people who have either. We've all got our own journeys to go on. I was fortunate enough to have received that, insight. It was useful for me. And there was a funny moment at one time when, I'd been numbing the pain with drugs and alcohol, as a lot of people do, for quite a while. And my mate had gotten tickets to the cricket. And he's like, come along to the cricket. We'll get blind. I've got a box. It's all paid for. It'll be great. We'll eat and drink and be merry and forget about your troubles. It was a fork in the road. I literally had my bicycle. I was just finishing work, and it was just starting to rain, and the MCG is right on the way home right on my way home. And so I could have just gone right there. It would have been really easy. And then there's this workshop right on the other side of town, which is, wanted a lot of introspection and all sorts of heavy stuff. And I didn't want a bar of any of that, but there was this voice inside my head that said, well, you've been this way before. I got out of work and I could turn left or I could turn right. You know what I mean? And this voice said to me, you've been that way. Why don't you try something different? And I tried something different, and it was pretty full on weekend. A lot of tears and a lot of self-inquiry, and I learned a lot of things. I learned, about having a relationship with oneself, learn about that it's important to express ourselves, that it doesn't make you less of a man. For example, a lot of us blokes, we get told that if you cry or if you, seek help, it makes you somehow less of a person. I mean, am I allowed to swear on this show? Yeah, what a load of effing shit. Like, what a hoax, It's just, and I bought into that. And I'm a really emotional guy, so it didn't serve me well at all for a very long time. And so starting to come to terms with these feelings and these emotions. And then, at that same time, I'm struggling in my career to really find what I wanted to do. And, every day I'm finishing work, I'm going home and I'm just studying up on mental health. I'm just fascinated by it. One of the things that I was learning was some of this really big data, sort of this big picture stuff, which is that, well, for starters, not only was I not alone as a bloke who is struggling with their mental health, but it seems that guys end their own lives at a rate 3 to 4 times that as do women. I mean, what the hell's going on there? Seeing what, are men stupider than women or something? Like, no, of course we're not. We're just as smart as as women. But what's going on? Like, what are women doing right that men aren't doing right?
With this pandemic, 18 months lockdown, isolation, this show is about over 50s. What have you come across in the community with people in the over 50 age group and how they're coping with this?
Bit of a mixed bag, Carol, to be frank. Some of the good things are that it's been really wonderful to see this uptake in technology. Like, check us out. Star Trek has been doing this multi-screen thing for the last 50 years, and yet for some reason society has only just decided to get on board with Zoom and online meetings with people during a pandemic. So no idea what's going on there, but how wonderful to see such huge swaths of the community just starting to really upskill and learn how to do this. And so that's been very inspiring. And then, of course, the flip has been that there's a lot of people who really used to connecting with their community face to face. They are used to having visitors or going around and visiting friends, and maybe they live by themselves and they don't get to do that anymore. And that's sad. And it's very hard to, supplant, sort of a Zoom catch up or a FaceTime catch up doesn't really cut the mustard when you want to see your grandchild or you want to see your daughter or you want to see your best mate. Or
for people that are isolated, that just want to give their grandkids a hug or just, have a drink with a mate or something, what are your top tips to look after our mental health at this time?
That is such a good question. And that's something that I have put a lot of effort into trying to understand the answer to that question. I loved it when I saw that you were going to ask me that question. So for me, it really comes back to the absolute basics. So, are you sleeping? What are you eating? What's your diet like? Are you exercising? I know you're a specialist in fitness, Carol. So they'd be the top 3, and then also getting out in nature. How do you relate to yourself? How are you speaking to yourself? Are you being harsh to yourself the whole time? What can you do to be sociable as well? So Are you calling people up? You know, are you doing some sort of a Zoom thing? And then finally, I'd say cultivating an observational mindset. And I know that that's a bit of a mouthful, but really what I'm talking about is being able to observe our emotions, to be able to observe how we're feeling, and just to be able to observe it as opposed to be defined by it.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, and we hope to see you again. Of a smooth groove today, and we're just going to take a little bit of a twist side to side. That's it. Twist side to side. Okay, we're doing a leg kick, chorus line style. Kick, 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 kick. Just nice, relaxed kick across the side. That's it. All right, now we're going to do another very interesting one. We've never done this one before. We're going to do a double knee lift. Double knee lift. Up, 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 up. So pick up the same leg twice. So this is a double knee lift. What's it called? Double knee lift. That's it. Keep it going. Back to the twist. You can twist around the room if you like. Just get your groove on. Kick, 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 kick. That's it. All right, we're going to do something very interesting coming up. I know you can do it. We're going to do a double knee lift, remember? Double knee lift. And we go. Knee, 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 knee. Now to make it interesting, we're going to go up, over, up. Up, over, up. Up, over, up. Up, over, up. Over, up. Up, over, up. If it's a bit tricky, just go back to the double. If it's straight. Otherwise, over, over, up, over. Okay, leg to the back to finish. Have we done good? Yes, we've done great. That's it. We're going to do a big finale. Let's do the chorus line. And that's it. That's it, pivot. Yeah! Welcome. Today on Living Life, we're going to look at single life, because there'll be many of you watching who are now single. You might have been married for 20, 30 plus years, and now you find yourself single and on your own. You don't know how to date, you don't know what to do, how to do it. And so we're going to try and navigate our way through some of the things as a single person over 50 or over 60. And we have a chat today with Brian Richmond, who, having been single for 12 years, is going to share his tips and strategies for maximizing your success in the dating scene. Hi Brian, great to have you on Over 50 So What?
Great to be on the show, Carol.
Now, we met at a singles function, which was for live music and dancing for single people over 50. And you shared with me that you'd love to share with the viewers your perspective on dating as a single person over 50.
I did.
So you've been married a couple of times, and then you suddenly found yourself out there in the dating world. Can you just remember back to when that was and what that felt like and what you did?
I think what happens with a lot of guys, I really do believe that generally guys do it a little bit harder than females, and there's lots of reasons for that. But everyone obviously is on their own journey. So for me, dating sites were a forum where I could interact with other people, and I think that's a little bit of my personality. That was important for me to do that. Sometimes people are advised not to do any of that, just to learn to be on their own, but that's okay. But for me, I found it was best for me to interact with other people. The first lady I met was a sales rep, and I can remember sending an interest, and I was so surprised when there was an interest came back. There's never any guarantee you're going to meet the one, but you will meet lots and lots of nice people, and people that will be good for you in your journey, and you'll be good for them.
Well, previously on the show, we've had a couple that met online, and then they were chatting online, and then they started dating, and they ended up getting married. In fact, I know 3 people that have ended up married after having met online. So if someone watching this today hasn't been online before, what would you suggest to someone that's all new experience? Maybe they've just come out of 20-year, 30-year relationship, and they think, oh, maybe I'll take a look at online dating. What's your view on setting up a good profile?
The number one thing is a photo that actually does look like you. Now, that might sound a bit sort of strange, but lots of people do put photos on that shows them what they were like maybe 20 years ago. So I actually have a current photo of you that tells you a bit about you, not one that involves any other. You don't want any other family members in the photo. You don't want to be holding your grandchild. You don't want to be holding your dog. This is from my point of view. You don't want to be holding a fish or a skun rabbit in the air.
From a single person over 50, from the female perspective, yes, there's nothing better than seeing a current photo of what someone looks like now, because I have experienced that where the photo's 20 years old, they look nothing like it now. Sometimes they just put a picture of their dog, which tells me nothing about them as a person. So and other things with the photo is getting a good photo, because a lot of people just take selfies and they're looking down at the phone and they're not smiling, they're very, they don't have a proper photo.
That's spot on. Nothing worse than to meet someone and they don't recognise you, or you don't recognise them.
So my suggestion from my perspective is get a friend or a family member to take a good photo of you looking happy, because we want to go out with people, and I'm sure from the male perspective, you want to go out with someone that's happy. You don't want, that looks happy, that looks like they could be interesting, could be fun, but not, so they've got a nice smile on their face.
Smile is very important. Not like the old photos that were taken many, many years ago by our grandparents where no one smiled.
For the people that haven't been on a dating site before, normally you've got all those criteria like height and weight and eye colour, etc., and age and what age you're looking for, etc. But there's also there's paragraphs of things that you can write introducing yourself, letting people know a bit about your personality, what you're particularly interested in, the things that you look for, the things that you find fun, and you can actually write a story with your profile. So what sort of things do you put in that particular story about yourself, which sort of reveals part of your personality?
We want to write a little bit about us, just what our interests are, because we realise that the person that's going to match us will be similar. Not in everything, but it's similar interests. An example, if you like dancing, you'd mention that in your profile. So I suppose a part of my profile was to try and convey the fact that I had a bit of emotional intelligence. And I guess, but it's an interesting thing about profiles, because some people are good at it, others aren't. Why not get a friend to help you do that? And sometimes other friends can describe you better than you can describe yourself.
Let me ask you another question though. So apart from trying to reveal your personality, your sense of humour and everything through the written profile, what are the don'ts? What are the things not to put in that written profile?
Don't go too much into your personal life. You don't go into your problems that you had in perhaps your marriage or whatever.
So my experience has been that a lot of men, because I'm obviously looking for men, they put up, I don't want, in their profile about themselves, I like to go for drives in the country, I don't want time wasters, I don't want people playing games, I don't want, they put in all these things they don't want into their profile.
It's quite common, quite often, and a lot of females do that, of course, too.
Yeah, so that's my example of something that's a don't.
I would go along with that.
It comes across as that you're very negative, that you're always looking for bad things, you've had some bad experiences, you're still carrying those bad experiences with you as baggage, and it sort of sets up the whole negative atmosphere straight away.
I would agree with that.
To finish off with today, we're going to just recap the do's and don'ts for your profile. So we want to look for a current photo that it's showing you looking happy, it's been taken by somebody, not you looking down at your phone. We want to have, all your interests actually there, so you can see whether the person looking at your profile can see if there's anything in common. You want to have a nice light written profile that reveals a bit about your personality, all upbeat, all positive.
Actually.
Well, thanks so much, Brian, for coming on the show.
Well, let's hope we've got people thinking perhaps anyway.
Yeah. So we'll probably have some people thinking, well, oh, maybe I should try that, or maybe I do that, maybe I should do something different. So thanks for joining us today. We hope you've learned a few skills to help you take care of your mental health and the mental health of others. If you'd like to know more about David and his programs on the LowDown, just go to our website, carolahalloran.com, or send us a note through Facebook, Over 50 So What. Check out YouTube for more fitness videos and replays. Get amongst it. And remember, on the show, we say it's never too late for love. Please send us your online dating stories. They're good and they're not so good. We'd love to hear from you. Facebook, Over 50 So What. Keep active, keep connected, and happy dating. It's never too late for love. I'm Carol. See you next time. Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50. So what?